I think I'm supposed to be saying the invocation and then our Pledge of Allegiance by Sheriff Kevin Potter. Our dear kind Heavenly Father, as we come before Thee today on this beautiful spring day, we appreciate the moisture that we've received and ask that they might temper and it will be able to come off where we can use its most good. We appreciate the aquifers being full and the reservoirs being full, and we know that all the good things come from Thee that will help the farmers and help us feed the rest of the nation. Heavenly Father, at this time, please bless those people that are in need, that they might be able to be helped by those of us that can reach out to our neighbors and a helping hand. Please bless our armed force services and our local services, our sheriffs and deputies and policemen that tend to us every day, that they will be able to go home safely. Please again watch over all of us as we go home and find all well there. And we ask these favors and blessings in the name of my Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. The audience, please stand, put your hand over your heart, repeat after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you guys had a chance to look at the minutes from March 1st, 2023.
Yes, and I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 1st, 2023.
I'll second it.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Perry and a second by Commissioner Bingham. All in favor?
Aye.
Administrative review reports, future agenda items.
Well, we got tourism coming up. We'll need to do that on the next agenda, right? Tourism
Oh,
grants.
yeah. We need to put Eli, where do you want to put it underneath?
Well, we need to do, no, well, we need to, yeah, so we're gonna put, for a fairgrounds request for the next meeting,
Yep.
so.
Eli Anderson's having
Coach.
the nation wagon.
It's the Coaches Association of America.
Yes.
It's coming to Boxer County at the end of April, so, and putting, use
Yes.
of the fairgrounds is what we needed for, yeah, Eli Anderson for the next meeting.
And I know he's talked to Jan, so we should be good, but we just need to, they got some cool stuff coming, so if you can be a part of it, so it'd be awesome.
So, Commissioner Summers, under administrative review, can we talk about the Public Lands Council
Yeah.
just for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want to bring it up, or do you want me to just?
Oh, do you want me to bring it right now? Is that what you want to
Yeah,
talk about?
yeah, you can do that.
Okay, for people that don't understand, there is a national organization called the Public Lands Council that is organized to really to train new members of the Senate and new members of the House in Washington, D.C. about public lands in the West, because back east, they don't have any public lands. So we received a request for funding from the county, and I asked Shirlene to hang off on that for just a little bit so I could do a little research, because in Idaho, the people who run on the public lands pay the fee to cover that cost. And in Nevada, in Utah, they don't. This has been going on for 60 years, and they haven't actually organized in Utah. I talked to Jordan Willis, who is a member of the national board who lives in Rich County, and they're working on that, but right now they don't have anything in place. Talked to the BLM in Idaho. Idaho has a really pretty good system, but we probably need to see if we can encourage the state of Utah to get to that point where the people that are actually using that property are contributing to that effort. It's not gonna happen in 2 weeks. So,
That's the main thing, because I think we actually stepped in and resurrected it because the people that were in charge of it from Utah were just gonna let it go away. So we found it necessary to be able, I mean, honestly, it's $2,000 or something. Isn't that what
I
the,
think that's what it was, yeah.
so,
That would be our county's portion.
Yeah, that was our
of it. But
county's portion.
I actually like Commissioner Bingham to bring it up. I think it's something we ought to talk with our state senator and representatives here and maybe suggest that they
cover that.
Well, work it through I think it's not a bad idea, is what.
Well, and that's what
your biggest thing.
it used to be that way.
Yeah, they could add
They
it to those
just
fees and make it.
Decided they didn't want to add the fees to anybody else, so I know Tammy Pearson, maybe you ought to call Tammy and see the thing behind both of y'all. I'll send you her information and
Tammy, I don't know Tammy.
she's
County
from,
commissioner for Beaver
yeah,
County.
Oh.
and plus she runs, I don't know,
And she's the vice chair of UAC this year.
UAC, and she runs about 2,600 head of cattle, so. Okay, we'll just hold off on that until after you talk to Tammy, and if not, we'll probably just end up paying it.
So if you could send me that information, I'd appreciate that.
Okay. You got anything else?
I don't know.
Okay. Emergency management issues, do you want to do that now, or what do you want to do? Are we good?
Come up, I've got
Let's see.
do we have
Do we
the
him on there?
policy to
No,
sign?
Don't we have him on the schedule for
I was
us?
gonna say, I think you're on the schedule twice, but,
Oh, well, whatever.
We have you on the schedule for a different issue, but unless there's something pressing we need to do. If we're just talking policy, we'll do that when we get to it on the agenda
Okay.
item.
all right.
Just any questions you might have regarding the current circumstances, but other than that.
Oh, I think it was from last time, yeah.
I seen, Lynette sent me, something about Parsons, right?
Yeah, Staker Parsons is giving out free sandbags to Brigham City.
Yeah,
There's-
Brigham City
I have
South,
to
right?
double check it, but yeah.
Okay. So apparently it is not listed. We did bring it up. It's a former agenda item.
Oh.
So we do need to bring that back for that policy to put it in
Okay.
place.
So as soon as we get done with Lynette, you need to come up, Mark, because it's not on the agenda. But, yeah, they said 20 bags per person. I thought that was really good of Staker Parsons to do that. They said North Ogden, Ogden, and Brigham City communities, which everybody surrounds, so that was nice. Every time anybody says sandbags, my elbows start to hurt, so I think we did 50,000. Did we do 50,000 last year?
Not last year, last
Well,
disaster,
the last disaster
6 years ago.
seems like last year after last night, so come on up, Mark, and let's talk about that policy.
Aaron, you wanna come up? Well,
I can post it later. I don't think it did.
What's that?
I don't think it needed to sign. That one needed to be signed.
Mark Millett, Box Elder County Emergency Manager.
Darren McFarland, Box Elder County Roads.
I think this is,
So we just had set up, or put for the commission, just a policy for flooding for the county. And, that was I think, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I guess we just need to look at that, see if the verbiage in there still works for you, given where we're at. If we need to redefine some thresholds and trigger points for stuff. I mean, that's, as policymakers, and we've had this discussion, you'll need to decide kind of where you want things to happen. But if that policy that we've got set there, and we define that as, the road department is the lead agency, just like law enforcement is for law enforcement incidents and fire service for fire incidents. The road department's the response entity for flooding, right? You're got the resources, and then from there, we had just determined that we'd do a 3-tiered response, have a cache of sandbags on hand for the road department, not necessarily worry about putting sandbags out for the general public, but that can be debated given the last couple of days if you want to do that. But otherwise, the next phase was to, if there's problem areas, for the road department to drop a pile of sand and sandbags for a community to go to work and take care of themselves.
I about pulled that trigger the other night.
Yeah, and then level 3 was, would be that we would go to a full disaster sandbagging operation at the fairgrounds like we did last time. So that's kind of, I think, what we've got generally captured in there.
So Mark, does that mean in case of an emergency, someone's gonna call you, or are they gonna call Darren?
Well, the call comes to Darren, and that's through dispatch, right? That's the trigger point, folks. If they have a problem, just like they call for fire or police, they call dispatch. For a flooding event, they would call Darren and his folks, and Because like I said, what we're dealing with here the last few days is, it's not a disaster. We're not at that point of me firing my mechanism. It's all a day-to-day response kind of a thing. I support, you know, and what I've done to this point is pull together some meetings just to kind of get us on that, put our eye on that spectrum that we potentially could live on from zero to disaster level, right? Which obviously fires in a whole bunch of other things, and there's some things we need to kind of do just before we get to that point, and that's just documentation, right? So that's all I've done, is just kind of fostered that discussion, and hopefully we never hit that disaster.
There's a lot of misinformation going on. I forwarded Mark some stuff from one of the stakes up in Tremont, and they had a lot of misinformation in that email. So I think if we get the policy, and then we can just look towards the policy, put that kind of stuff out on social media, and then we can continue, you know, down that direction. Our biggest problem, Boyd, with that last time when we had it, we had some serious safety issues going on down by the roads. Cody's smiling because he was there and watched it all. But, you know, people coming in and getting a pallet full of sandbags. You know, I mean, it got to the point where it was getting pretty ugly down there. So if we can have something in place that we can, and then hopefully we get the gates up before the next disaster. That way we can kind of shut things off and meter the flow, but it got ugly there for, what, 4 or 5 days
Before we finally moved.
before we moved it all to the fairgrounds.
And I could point to probably a dozen residences around the county out there in cities and went out that had pickup truck loads of sandbags that have been taken from the road shed that sat there and rotted all summer, but they took them because they were nervous but never needed them. And
Wow.
so part of our policy was to try to pull that back a little bit, and
I know how that nervousness feels.
and it's a very fine line as to how you want to draw it. How far do we lean forward? I mean, we got jurisdictions that have given out sandbags to the public, you know. Some of them limited to 10, some of them limited to 25. You know, I mean, how far do you want to, and this time we haven't done that, and, you know, people are, you know, not happy about that, but in totality, we really haven't had a huge amount of problem, and part of our messaging has been, the county doesn't buy fire extinguishers for your house, you know, so, you know, if you're nervous and concerned, you know, maybe go out and pick up some sandbags and be prepared for that kind of stuff now. But if that's the line and the posture we want to take, that's great, or if we want to adjust that a little bit, then we you know.
And we can do that on the fly. I mean, honestly, you know, when things get that bad, I don't think you're ever gonna see where it's, you know, 15 miles wide, 9 miles long,
Yeah,
and the communities were just getting hammered, every community.
that's where we was in disaster mode, and that's a whole different world, so.
Yep.
But I just, you know, as you look at that policy, as we wrote it up and submitted it, you know, 4 weeks ago, if that still fits and it's good, then we'll have you sign that, and it's part of our plan.
So have you communicated with the other communities through the county?
Yes, we put out information to all the emergency managers, and when they don't, there's not an emergency manager, then it goes to the mayor or an appointed citizen,
Council person.
as to what it was that we were doing. We've told them that we weren't doing sandbags, but I did arrange that because of the price break of the volume that we picked up this year to bolster our resources, that instead of 35 cents a sandbag, we got it for 14 and a half, and the vendor was good enough to allow the cities and towns to buy it that 14 and a half cents if they bought a minimum of 2,000, which would be $300, right? And so we extended it. So I pushed that all out to them, and a lot of them did that. Have purchased sandbags and are prepared. Snowville even has got sandbags out there, and you know they're doing stuff now. Obviously, they don't have as much as we do, and we're prepared that in the event that something else was needed, we can come in and provide that next tier of support if we need to.
I'm gonna have to find a load of sand for my kid's sandbox, my grandkid's sandbox. I was stealing sand from my sandbox last night, so I'll have to replace that at some point this summer. But no, I appreciate that and the work. So have you got anything to add, Darren?
What's that?
Has it worked out?
It's worked great. Yeah, we had one, last night would have been the first time we helped deliver sandbag. Well, we didn't deliver. We met them at our site and helped load sandbags, and they took them to their, it was more of an emergency situation. The house was being flooded, so we did
Yeah.
assist with that, but the others that are more just, preparedness, I think Mark's on the right
I think
path
that's a
there
great,
to have
write
them.
that down, Lynette, that fire extinguisher, I like that. We don't buy fire extinguishers for your house,
Or
but,
72-hour kits.
yeah, our 72-hour kits.
So I don't, it's a tough, it's a fine line as to
Right.
where, how far we wanna go to for our citizens. I think if we was at a year, looking at coming into this year, we just didn't have quite the stuff lining up that said, look, we're gonna have, an imminent thing. It was gonna be touch and go, and I think we've relatively come off, through the last couple of days very well in general.
If it freezes tonight, we'll be
Yeah,
good.
but over the next week, the temperature will be above freezing each day. It's gonna continue to trickle off, and as far as, unless we get some major snows, again, we're done with low-level flooding, I think for the most part, for the season. And then we'll just be able to keep our eyes on the drainages and the creeks and stuff for
Yeah.
the rest of the spring. And I'll tell you, I got, information from Brigham City. They're
getting prepared.
What they've got, 2,700 acre feet of water in the Manaway Valley, which is pretty much, ties the largest year, in 2017. But the upper Box Elder Creek drainage in 2017, they were just over 14,000 acre feet of water. This year, they're at 18,500 acre feet of water sitting in the Box Elder Creek drainage. So it's gonna have to come off just right. And we got a piece of that because that water comes down through that bridge there. We'll be keeping a close eye on that bridge, heading south out of Manaway, just so we don't have debris get hung up on that like we did in 2018, which created some problems.
And we were having landslides, we were having all along this, just, like I said, and for PTSD, for me, it's just been, when you get a call at 3:30 in the morning. So you just kind of go and do what you have to do.
And we are monitoring those landslides as well, in the different areas of the county and so.
You ready for a motion?
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the deployment and distribution of flooding resources policy for the emergency management
You got
purposes.
a number? No?
No.
Okay.
I'll second it.
I got a motion by Commissioner Perry and a second by Commissioner Bingham. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Charlene, you actually on the, oh, no, you are. I was just gonna say, do you want to cover that now? But it's okay. We'll wait till you're on. Request of the parking, Spade Hope Garden Club plant sale, Jody
Actually, you got one,
Peterson.
number 7. We gotta take care of number 7.
Oh, number 7. Sorry. This is Commissioner Perry.
Yep.
I'm gonna turn.
Okay.
to Commissioner Perry.
So commissioners and everyone else, I just want to bring out something. At our last elected officials meeting, I mentioned the fact that I think we have an obligation to make sure that people know what great employees we have in this county. And so I want to try and implement a program where we can, at least once a month or something, working with the other elected officials and other leaders in this county, recognize employees that are going above and beyond, and that we're getting information about when they're doing things that are exceptional. And so this month, I'm going to kick it off. It's interesting, Scott Lyons got an email and he forwarded it to the other department head, who was actually Cody Elam, who should have gotten it. And I'm just going to read the letter to you. It said, the letter came in and it says, "I'm not sure you are the person I should be sending this email of recognition regarding Jesse Fernellis. Is that how you say your name? Fernelius? With the building department. However, if you are not, I'm confident you will know to whom it should be sent. I cannot express how unusual it was to encounter someone so willing to provide the level of service she provided me earlier today. First of all, Jessie is the first person I've encountered when working with the building department to be so kind as to email me the completed building permit. Secondly, she inquired as to whether there were others that she could be sending the permit to, other than me. Wow. Talk about making an effort and going the extra mile. She is simply amazing. It is rare people deserving recognition receive it in this crazy world today. As the trend today seems to be negativity and constantly complaining. For this reason, I could not ignore the kindness and level of service Jessie provided this morning and could not let the opportunity pass to sing her praises. My interaction with her this morning was like finding a unicorn. So you're a unicorn, Jessie. Anyway, someone amazing who is simply a very rare find. She was a breath of fresh air and her service was much appreciated. She is a keeper for certain, and was signed by the individual who sent us that email. So with that, Jessie, can you come up here for us? I know that your boss said you just needed to take some notes and minutes down here. We wanted to let you know that there was even more than that. So if you'd come up front, actually, we'll have you come right around here. Will you take a picture? Totally live. So we're just gonna keep you right here in the middle of us. The rose amongst the thorns here. You can get a picture. You're the unicorn. Yeah, you're the unicorn. We can get a picture with you.
I'm not scared of running too, how come?
Okay, so we just got a certificate here signed by the commissioners and declaring you the employee of the month. And just a little gift here to tell you how much we appreciate all you're doing, so.
Thank you.
There you go. So thank you for everything you're doing there.
Thank you.
Like I said, this is the kind of thing that we know goes on in this county all the time. And you're just one of, you really stand out, and it was amazing to see that, so thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Couldn't happen to a better person.
And I think Cody might be in trouble now, so otherwise we're good.
Plus, in a pinch, she lets me wear her dresses.
I don't want to.
Just, we'll go through that one. She sees Steve's face.
Good thing she's left.
I know. Maybe she'll stick her head back in. Okay, that was awesome, Lee, thanks. Okay, Jody, now you're up. How's that?
That's hard to follow. Congratulations, she's
Yeah, just give us your name and where you're
I'm
from.
Jody Peterson. I live in Brigham City, and I'm here on behalf of Spade and Hope Garden Club. We are a small garden club that was established back in 1964. We do still have some of the original members with us. We have about 40, mostly women. We do have some men that come to our garden club. We have a monthly meeting that we go over different things like fertilizer and plants, and we do some tours of small nurseries. We actually did one that was about birds and owls and how we can feed them and not feed them and watch them and leave their spaces. Anyhow, each year we do a plant sale. We've done it in years past over here at Bill of Rights with the city by the library, but we got bumped last minute, which was kind of frustrating. So we moved to DL Evans Bank over here on First South and Main, which was great to be on Main Street, although the parking was difficult to load and unload plants. So I'm asking if we can use the parking lot on May 13th, which is the Saturday before Mother's Day, from 7 a.m. to 11, just the southwest corner of the parking lot. So we can be on Main Street, but we also have that little bit of parking space to load and unload plants. To give you an idea, all these plants are grown by our club members or donated through the club members. Sometimes they're just the tubers that you can just go throw in the dirt. Everything from garden vegetables to annuals and plants that they grow. So to give you an idea on what they make, last year we made about $1,200. Year before we made $1,700. The money goes back to the community. We donate trees to parks in past members' names, as well as the train station down here on 4th Street. We do those barrels. This year is kind of up for grabs depending on the overpass, if we're gonna do that or not. And then they're also gonna donate this year to a couple of the Habitat for Humanity homes. They're gonna donate actual trees and plants and go and plant them for those people or get them there. So I'm requesting the parking lot on that morning from 7 a.m. to 11.
We're okay, Cody?
So you know, Jody is also an employee.
We were gonna bring this up.
The flowers out front won't be.
If you
They will
enjoy,
suffer. I was gonna bring that, but there's no problem for May 13th, right?
if you enjoy our flower beds and everything that goes on, this is the person you should say thank you to. She's responsible. Plus, she happens to be married to our newest representative
Yeah.
that you,
Hold it against you.
and we want, yeah.
Yeah, we're still gonna make the motion.
Change my name to
here.
Tom's wife,
So-
I mean.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the use of our parking lot for the Spade and Hope Club, or Spade and Hope Garden Club plant sale on May 13th.
I'll second it.
I got a motion by Commissioner Perry and a second by Commissioner Bingham. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Looks like we have the Bragg lease agreement. This seems like it's been going on for a long time. Have you guys got any questions?
Yeah, so have they been paying or not?
Yeah, they've been paying.
To the same level or just some or what?
No, they've been paying at the same level. It was just, it took us this long to get the agreement after Tom left, and
Okay.
that's all kind of been. And the, I guess ever since I've been a commissioner, they've had an office that's been down in Perry, and it's underneath the dental office, and it's on that busy street. The only bus stop is across the 4-lane highway. And for the people that actually come in to use Bragg services, buses and walking ability has meant a lot. And I know Roger hasn't been real happy with me because I've wanted him to move for the last decade. And when we found this building over here, they wanted to come in. So I congratulate Roger for coming over here and being with us, but it's just right here on the corner with our DMV, or not DMV, yeah.
With our driver's
With
license.
our driver's
driver,
license.
no, it is DMV, you're right, it is
DMV.
DMV. So we have DMV there and our IT's in the same building there with the old American First building,
And
right?
so when that came up, he was ecstatic to be able to be that close, to be able to have a bus stop, walking, plenty of parking and stuff to be able to. So that's what the lease agreement's for. And if you look at what we pay them a year, did you get that in the mail? How much we pay Bragg? So basically, it's a wash. Did you see that? Did you get that in the mail too? So anyway, it's a good deal for all of us, and plus our community partners to be able to have it that close. So I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve Bragg lease agreement 23-11.
Second,
I got a motion by Commissioner Bingham, second by Commissioner Perry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, guys. It's good to have that one to bed, huh, Steve?
It is.
Hi, Charlene. Come on up.
Charlene Larson, County Auditor. Just wanted to review usage and opportunity of usage with the Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund. That's what it is, LATCF. We are slated to receive a total of $1,974,000 and change. We've received half of that so far, and we'll receive the second half during 2023. And as of today, we've only spent 1%. It's funneled through UAC for a National Center for Public Lands County. They're hoping to fund that answers to NACO and WIR Board of Directors. So that's where that 1% that all the counties are participating in went to. Beyond that, we haven't spent any money. There's just been discussion about different opportunities. The limitations, if you received the copy that I provided to Marla, indicates that we can use it for pretty much anything except for anything related to lobbying activity. And it spells that out pretty well defined, that you can't use it for a member of Congress, a jurisdiction intended or designed to influence any member of Congress, an official of any government, to favor, adopt, or oppose by vote or otherwise any legislation, law, ratification, policy, or appropriation. So that's the most that it's defined, is that we can't use it for that. I did not place anything in the budget because I wasn't sure how we were going to spend that. That will take a public hearing in the future to even make up for the 1% we did spend, make sure we have our budget matching what we're spending. So we're just opening that discussion to how you wanted to spend it.
And then as of last Thursday, when I talked to Brandy from UAC, I think there was only 2 more counties that have not paid that. One said that they will pay it, but they're gonna wait and pay it directly, which, whatever. And so I think actually they've only got 1 more county that actually has to pay, so. And then I think if we get all of our together, they'll send off the check, so. But it hasn't left UAC as of yet.
Okay.
And then the only other thing we were talking about on this was the senior centers. Are you guys ready to talk about that, or do you want to wait until another meeting?
I think we need to wait till the next meeting. We still got to get some better numbers. We got some really good numbers from Tremont. We could go forward with the Tremont request based on what they've given us, but I still need to get some better numbers from Brigham City.
And I thought those other numbers were gonna come
Yeah.
yesterday afternoon again, but I haven't seen anything from Brigham.
So just a perspective from a municipality point of view, I received billings from Tremont, but it was a generic summary. It didn't say anything about services rendered, it didn't say anything about people served, it didn't say anything, which made it kind of hard to want to pay the bill, if that makes any sense. And I think when I saw this, that's the first time in 3 years I've seen anything like that.
Well, we've kind of come through the gamut with this, because every time they want more money, we kind of say, okay, so talk about 911 or all these type of things that we cover. So if we're gonna up our stuff to that, then you need to up. So it's kind of been a fine balancing act, but I think with the way things are going, with just the economy, with food costs and gasoline costs, I think it's kind of tipped it over the edge. I hope everything gets back to normal, whatever normal is. So, and that's why I just talked about the LAPTC, whatever fund, to maybe help just in the next couple of years to, and I realize it was funny because I was talking to some people, we were looking over these and we were saying, you know, yes, we are supposed to have done unincorporated people. And then he looked at me and said, we're all county residents. And I just went, yeah, you got me there. So anyway, but if we want to wait for some more,
Well, we're having a Bragg meeting next week too, and so this would give us a chance to talk to Bragg.
do you
'cause
think
that's
you
part of
can,
that. But I think we can put it on the next agenda for sure.
okay, can you send that back to DJ and those guys and say, hey, we'd like to have this look like Tree Mountains?
Yeah, we've actually been back and forth. I got to be careful about what we send back, but we'll make sure they understand what we're looking for.
Yeah, so I just want a long-term as you go about doing this of how much we're gonna spend this year, so I can kind of get a budget, and we do have to hold a public hearing that I have to give like a week's notice to the paper.
Right.
So I don't know if you can look at the whole year and kind of what you wanna do as you're aside from the senior centers, or give me a ballpark or something so that,
Yeah, let's
You know, it's
let's
part
work
of the
on that and
budget.
figure out
I
the
didn't
senior
s-
center and what else, and then we'll go
So
forward.
this money doesn't have anything like ARPA funds that you have to have it earmarked by 2024 and
nope,
spent by
there's no
2026.
timeline. I just have to do an annual reporting on it to the federal government of how we have spent it once a year.
That was, I was just gonna say,
I think, Commissioner, we bring it back for, for the senior city. By that point, we kind of have an idea where we want to go with this, but I think we can also give Charlene a chance to let her know where else we may want to spend the money, but I think this gives us a little time. Because we may want to be still thinking about, we may have dodged a bullet with flooding, but there may actually be some other things we may need to deal with there. So we may want to even postpone till May to decide what to do with this budget because
Okay.
of that, so.
no,
That's
and I'm
fine.
okay with that. Okay, we'll just
Thank
put
you.
it on the next agenda. I'd say the senior center, and we'll work on the LAT thing maybe in May
Yeah.
when other stuff arises. Thanks, Shirley. Scott?
All right. My first item is the Boz subdivision. This is a one-lot subdivision located at 5353 West, 4000 North, so it's in kind of an area just northwest of Corinne. It's a 5.5 acre lot. It has been reviewed and approved by all applicable county departments and comes to you for approval.
So where are they getting their culinary water?
Well,
Oh, wow.
They must have had their permit in before,
Yeah.
it was in before the governor's
Okay.
mandate, so.
just so you know, the lake's up almost 2.5 feet. So, as of yesterday. So,
It's awesome.
before the runoff even hits, so.
Yeah.
If you got any questions or concerns, I entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the Bond subdivision.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Bingham, seconded by Commissioner Perry, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Second item is regarding our planning commission. So we had a planning commissioner, Kevin McGahey. I'd like to thank him and recognize his service. He spent 3 terms, so
was just
9
gonna say,
years
it's
on the
been a
planning
while.
commission. And his term ended this March. Anyway, he's chosen not to serve further. We have 2 alternate planning commissioners. One of those, Jennifer Jacobson, she's been very reliable. She stays up to date, reading all the different reports, comes prepared to meetings, and the idea with the alternates is that they are fully involved. They can
Just not a voting member.
participate in the discussion. They just can't vote unless there are not a full
Quorum.
quorum. And so, and it's also, the thought is they go through all the training required, and so when we're ready to replace someone, we've got someone ready to go. So, we've spoken with her, I've spoken with her, she is interested in filling that spot. So, our recommendation is that, she be appointed to that seat.
And then you'll fill her spot.
Correct, we'll find a new alternate to fill her spot. The other one, Lonnie Jensen, he's from the Collinston area. He replaced Mike Udy. Mike Udy served 2 of his 3 years. I think that was of his 3rd term as well. Just got burned out, so he asked to be replaced. So Lonnie filled his last year, and that term expires this month as well. Lonnie is interested in serving a full 3-year term.
Cool.
And then the final one is Steve Zollinger from the Bothwell area. He just completed his, I believe it is his first term. So he's been on for 3 years, and he said he is interested in serving an additional term for 3 more years.
Cool. I'd entertain a motion, but I'd like to thank Kevin McGahey for 3 terms of service. He's been here as long as I have been, so we appreciate their efforts in these things. That's not an easy thing. And kudos to you for, I think it was 2 years ago, you decided we were gonna do the alternates to kind of bring them up through the ranks and let them know.
Yeah, it made it easier on us as far as when we had people, making sure we had a quorum. It was around the time where the pandemic hit and different things were going on, and then also the state implemented training requirements for planning commissioners, and so it made sense having alternates to get them trained and have them ready to go instead of bringing someone new on and trying to rush them through a training, because the state requirements say they have to have a certain amount of training before they can take action in a meeting, so.
I was just shaking my head at Chrissy because we're having some problems with our mineral lease, and I'm thinking, I think we should have, at least one alternate for sure on that board to be able to fulfill those type of things, so we'll bring that up tonight.
So you're gonna get somebody else if we do all this, you'll get another person to fill in as a,
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
So Scott, what was Lonnie's last name again?
Jensen.
from Collinston. I'd entertain a motion.
So I'll make a motion that we approve Jennifer Jacobson to be a full-time member of the Planning Commission, move from alternate to full-time, and re-up Lonnie Jensen and Steve Zollinger for another term.
Second it.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Bingham, second by Commissioner Perry. All in favor?
Aye.
Do you want me to sign that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I might not be here much longer after the meeting, so.
Scott, where's Jennifer from? Riverside.
So the new alternate will probably look at someone from South Florida.
Oh,
So
okay.
if they ever annex, then we'll have to find more people from the south end. And go to, I've actually had a couple of phone calls from people saying, so how do we annex? How do we make our own town?
From South Florida.
We took our advice from 10 years ago and
Yeah, plus 11 now. I think it was 2012 when we did the study.
it's my first year. That's been a while. Did that bill pass? To where we don't have to go through the LG's office anymore?
On.
Annexations and stuff. Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it did.
I think it did too. So now it comes to the commissioners instead of.
And then we have
the LG's office.
Interesting.
It's actually annexed through us now, which
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. That does make sense.
okay. So I would imagine that's gonna be something we probably end up having to like be through the planning commission to web, so if they meet all, do you know what I mean? It's probably gonna be something else to throw through them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 10 years ago, we did a study through Zion's, cost us like 17 grand. We went and showed them the pros and cons, but it was basically cheaper to be in the county, so
So now it's gonna be more expensive.
until the next meeting, we found out that we weren't charging them enough for we were actually charging Brigham City and Tremont for their services. And we shouldn't have been, so. Hey, Jenica,
Morning.
come on down.
Okay.
Have you got any?
Yeah, I do. It's a short list this time. There you go. Okay, so the first item I have is policy 13. This is the Family Medical Leave Act policy for the county. We made substantial changes to the policy. Basically just updated it to follow the law directly. So section 13-1 had a change, 13-4 had a change, 13-7, we changed to list the status of employee benefits and insurance. We added and insurance during leave. Because while an employee is on FMLA, as long as they can pay their portion of the premium, we don't take their benefits away. And then section 13-9 and 10 are new. 13-9 talks about when the employee comes back to work after FMLA, and then 13-10 is the military leave provision for FMLA. That's a little bit different than the standard leave. So anyway, it's been reviewed by Annie in the legal department, and as far as I know, is ready to go.
Okay. You guys got any questions? I entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept the changes in policy 13.
I'll second it.
I got a motion by Commissioner Perry and a second by Commissioner Bingham. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The Gallagher Benefit Services contracts are still not ready, so we have a holdup on Gallagher's side. If it's okay with you, I would like to have some guidance whether you want me to list that as an agenda item every time or just do it under follow-up from now on whenever they're ready. It's up to you.
I think we could just do it as a follow-up.
Yeah, when we've had it on there, we can do it as a follow-up, so.
All right, and then the last item I have is actually from Gallagher. So we had our benefits meeting this last week, and Gallagher came and they presented our utilization, which looked pretty good. And while they were there, unbeknownst to me, they gave the county an award. So Box Elder County has received the 2022 Best in Class Employer Award from Gallagher.
Wow.
And what that means is we're an employer that's focused on employee health, financial security, and career growth. And we're one of only a couple hundred companies nationwide that received the award.
That's
So,
awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, we were pretty excited.
20 out of there was 400 different companies they worked with, and we were one of only 20, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing, so yeah.
Yep, so,
That's way awesome.
so yeah, here's the award.
Whoa.
It's on display in HR if anyone wants to see it. We're pretty excited about it for something we didn't even know that we were doing right, so that's good.
There you go. That's always good.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you
Thank
do.
you.
Okay, looks like warrant register and nobody's come up with a closed session. Okay. I'm sure I could talk about something if you want to. I think my timer, another little tip, never wire a timer to a sump pump when it's raining. The results could be shocking, to say the least.
Well,
Put my heart back in rhythm.
If it rains hard enough in a specific direction, I don't care where you are, you're gonna get wet, so. That's one thing I noticed with the winds last night.
My dad sat me once sometimes so hard at dairy. I said, don't plug that in until I get all plugged in and stuff. And he plugged that in. I'm standing in a shit pit. Took me down.
Get your attention.
Yeah. I told him he about lost one of his sons. Yeah, and last night it was pretty late this morning when I was trying to wire a timer because the stupid float quit working. So I just wired a timer on it so I could turn it on for 3 hours and not have to worry about it.
I don't know if we need to include them in this.
Forgot to unplug it.
That was.
Did you see the request for ARPA funds from Perry City? He said he hasn't seen the request from Perry for ARPA.
Yeah. We need to
Yeah.
get a copy of that to you. I saw a copy. Who'd they send it to? Just
I
you
seen
and
it. No, I seen it too.
Okay, we'll get it followed up and deal with that in a future meeting.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
So would, that come from Shirley's office or where?
The ARPA
funds
fund
that came
from
from the
Perry.
request
Did
from
you
Mr.
send it to us or did you send it to us?
Must've been Shirley. You sent it?
No,
for
I
us?
think she
Yeah,
sent it.
'cause she's-
I think you sent it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
probably can't, you just look back at that.
You might want to look in your spam.
Okay.
It's interesting to say the least.
Well, we just need to go through it and talk about it, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
done.
Since you haven't put that public comment yet, I needed to let you know that Moody's